Carson Anderson. Get to some open line calls and some feedback coming up a little bit later on. Gator is out today, but every Thursday at this time, we swing around the NFL. And sitting in today from the Detroit Free Press is Dave Birkett. Now, Dave, you're familiar with the segment. I have a coin flip app. I'm going to get your call. Heads or tails?
Heads. Heads it is.
He calls heads, and it is a head. So you can either receive or defer. So do you want the first question?
I'm going to defer, Doug, just out of, respect to you in the process here. I'm going to defer for the first one.
All right, Ken, question one.
I don't think it was respect. I think it was strategic, actually, Doug. So anyways, no. All right, here we go, boys. All right, the 49ers face the Ravens Christmas night. Both teams are 11-3. This will be only the third time since the merger that the outright NFC and AFC leaders will be facing off this late in December. Is this a preview of the Super Bowl? And if not, which one of these teams don't make it?
So the smart money is to say, no, it's not a Super Bowl preview because you get the field if you don't take the two teams that are trending to be the one seed. What a great matchup. And obviously we have vested interest if the Ravens can beat San Francisco. Great Christmas night game. But I think Baltimore's a little bit more vulnerable, and Lamar's playoff record is what it is. The AFC's deeper, so give me Buffalo out of the AFC and San Francisco out of the NFC.
Maybe I should have kicked off there. Maybe I should have taken the ball there because I agree, Doug. I mean, that's you're right? You're basically taking the field to say, no, this is not going to be a Super Bowl rematch. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. They will be there. I'm not quite sure about Baltimore. Really good team. Buffalo is as hot as they get. That could be a second-round matchup. And don't forget about Kansas City, too, especially if they get the 2 seed and they only have one road playoff game. I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So, no, this is not a Super Bowl preview.
I hate to make it 3 for 3, but I agree. I like to be different. But, yeah, I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson. I've defended him when no one else would. He has never had the surround, other than defense, the skill position players on offense. It's been him and Mark Andrews. And now Mark Andrews is out. So it's Lamar Jackson and a rookie receiver, Odell Beckham, and who knows at running back. With that being said, I just think that's just too much for Lamar to eventually overcome for the AFC side. I like someone coming out of the AFC, probably the Chiefs as well. The Niners, yeah, they're just, right now you can't bet against them. When they are healthy, they're clearly the best team in the league. So I get the Niners and Chiefs. Sorry to my Ravens fans out there. All right, it's not quite Deflategate 2, but the Patriots reported to the refs at halftime of their game versus the Chiefs that the kicking balls were underinflated. Is it finally time to get rid of kicking balls and throwing balls and just use balls?
I feel like you're setting me up for a drop with this one, but yes, no, I saw the story and I immediately thought about Taylor Swift and karma that this was happening with the Chiefs and the Patriots. No, it's not. Look, I think. They've done it for a reason. I don't really know what the reason is. I mean, but they've done it for a reason for a long, long time. I know kickers used to doctor the balls and whatnot. I guess this makes it fair. So, hey, just keep them in. This is how it's been. Let's keep status quo for the time being.
I was listening to Dan Wetzel's College Football Inquirer podcast, and he was railing against the NCAA, but he said something that I'm starting to buy into, and that is less rules make things better, not more rules. Why do we care what a team chooses to inflate or deflate their footballs to? Either one standard ball provided by the league or do whatever you want with your footballs. Just don't complicate it is my stance on this.
I always thought it was funny that the NFL and football in general uses two different balls. Obviously, the kicking ball so they can kick longer field goals. It's more exciting for the fans. They can score more points and things like that. So I get why they do it. But I always thought it was kind of dumb. My own personal entertainment, I would love to see the NFL just go to one ball. Like, you know how you and I used to play football in the backyard? We have to go chase that ball down the street if the ball got loose. I want to see the players go chase that ball down out of the back of the end zone or in the crowd, wherever. Hey, we need that ball back. It's the only ball we got. Go over the fence, battle with the dog, do whatever you got to do. But that'd be funny for me. Use one ball. Okay, a little rapid fire with coaches here, guys. Okay, Falcons owner Arthur Blank won't fully commit to head coach Arthur Smith. Will Smith be the head coach at the end of the season for the Falcons, Doug?
Nolan Smith, blank seems to be a make-a-splash owner to me.
What about Bill Belichick? There's been rumors that he won't finish the season with the Patriots. Will he be the head coach of the Patriots at the end of the season?
That New England reporter's dialed in that reported that he's likely gone, and I don't think he wants this project. Well, he'll be 72 next year.
And another surprising one, there have been some rumors that Mike Tomlin might not be the head coach of the Steelers at the end of the season. What do you think?
Only if somebody offers a trade. I don't see Pittsburgh wanting to move on from Tomlin, but I saw only if a team comes and trades for him.
Dave, same three coaches for you.
Arthur Smith is done. When an owner says what Arthur Blank says, it's the writing is on the wall there. And look, they're 6-8, and they play a couple tough games on the road at the end. So he's not going to win enough games to survive. I do think Belichick is done as well. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He deserves to walk out, after the season his own way, say he's going to retire or move on to another job or maybe get traded. But I think his time in New England has passed. And I'm going to agree with Doug on Mike Tomlin. Look, I think, the Steelers are the most patient organization in football. And Mike Tomlin is another one of those coaches like Bill Belichick who has won for a long, long time. A lot of respect. He is staying in Pittsburgh unless it's his choice to leave.
Okay, I got no on Arthur Smith as well. They should have got Lamar Jackson when he was possibly available this offseason. They messed up, went with Ritter. Now they're Heineke, back to Ritter. Now they're back to Heineke. He's going to lose his job because of it. With Belichick, I don't think he comes back to the Patriots either. I called earlier in the season the Chargers, I think, would be a good landing spot for him. Ready-made quarterback. He can help that defense out that has been lacking the last few years with Staley. Tomlin, I'm going to say no, guys. I know this seems off the wall because you're right, Dave. The Steelers are a very patient organization, but I think patience eventually it runs out. And the rumors are that he is not, with the younger players, they're just not buying into the old Steeler organization thought, and maybe it's time to move on. I think this is a year where they could get out of it, and if they do make a trade, then better for them, but I don't think Tomlin comes back. Who's been more of a surprising quarterback with the way they played, Jake Browning or Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco. The guy's 38 years old. I mean, he was drafted the draft before Matthew Stafford, if I'm not mistaken, and he was on the street a couple years ago. Look, the Browns have a good team, really good defense, so there's a reason why they're winning, and it's not just about the quarterback. Respect what Jake Browning has done, but the Bengals were a team that a lot of people thought might be a Super Bowl contender before the season. I'm going to say Joe Flacco, at his age, to do what he's doing off the street, it's pretty impressive.
Jake Browning was this close to driving for Jimmy John's. He spent 2019 and 2020 on the Vikings practice squad. He didn't play. 2021 and 22 with the Bengals, same thing. Practice squad didn't play. 4 years, 2 separate practice squads, didn't play. At 27 years old when the season started, I don't know if he thought he had another year in him. And look at this. Now, it might be the perfect team for him to step in and be 3-1 because they have some pieces there, but I'm blown away by what Jake Browning's done.
Yeah, this is a great question by me. No, Doug, you're right.
Who goes to you?
Yeah. You're right about Jake Browning's resume. I mean, this guy might not have had a job had, Joe Burrow got hurt this year. He could have been done with the NFL, but he's come in, and maybe it is the players around him, but he's done well, obviously. Joe Flacco has the resume, but Dave, you're right. 38 years old, not off the street, off the couch. I'm not sure. I know he wanted to play, but I didn't know this guy had anything left. With that being said, I am more impressed by Joe Flacco. It's the age. It's like, coming off he looked bad when he was playing, I think, last year with the Jets. And so to see this, at least Browning has been in the system. He's consistently been playing the last few years, or at least on a team. I'm going with Joe Flacco. All right, guys, give me an AFC and an NFC team that is currently in the playoffs right now, but they won't be when it's all said and done. And which team replaces them?
There are 5 AFC teams that are 8-6. One of them who is out is Buffalo. They move in. They've recaptured their thing that they got. And one of the 8-6 teams, I'm going to go with Cincinnati being out in spite of Jake Browning. They have Kansas City, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh the rest of the way. I think that schedule is going to bring them down.
I thought we were doing both. Doug.
Yeah, Doug, you have an NFC?
Oh, well, then I'll give you the NFC. I will put, my bad, you go, and then I'll come back. I'll circle back to it.
Well, look, I agree with Doug on the Bengals. Again, Jake Browning, kudos to what he's done so far. I think the Bills are in. The Texans might get in too, though. They've got a tough one against Cleveland this week. So I could see both the Bengals and the Colts falling out of there. In the NFC, the Vikings are not going to make the playoffs. It's going to be the Seattle Seahawks that finishes the number 6 seed thanks to that win that they had last week. The Rams will be the 7 seed. If the Lions do happen to get the 2, Matthew Stafford coming to Ford Field to play the Lions round 1 of the playoffs.
Okay, I've got my answer. Seattle's going in and the Rams are going out. The Rams are not going to make the playoffs because I cannot stand the storyline. I don't want to do it for a week. Please don't let the Rams make the playoffs. I'd rather play Seattle than the Rams.
I'm sorry, Doug. I agree with Dave. I think the Seahawks are in and the Vikings are out. I've called the Vikings out ever since they got away from Dobbs and they didn't know who their quarterback was going to be. It just doesn't look good over there. Plus, they got to play the Lions twice. I got the Seahawks getting in place of the Vikings. As far as the AFC, I got the Bills in. You know, that's an easy call for most people. I got the Colts out, though. Minshew Mania ends and Bills take their spot. All right, last one, guys. The Jets, with the 32nd ranked offense, will face the Commanders with the 32nd ranked defense. I asked you guys, should the league cancel this game? But no, seriously, who's going to win this futility battle?
What an awful matchup. Thankfully, I will not be watching that this weekend. Look, should they cancel it? First of all, no. If you can bet on the game, why cancel it, right? Everybody's out there to make some money. And who's going to win? I'm going to go with the Jets, I guess, right? A little bit better defense. Neither team looks like they have much left to play for, much care left in this season, but give me Robert Saleh and the Jets winning this one.
They shouldn't cancel this game. They just shouldn't televise it. And I'll take the Jets to win because of their defense.
All right, I got the Commanders 15-12. Is that scoregami? I don't know, but that's what I'm going with.
Dave Birkett of the Free Press, thanks for sitting in on the Y9 Omaha 4-down-around league blitz thingy. We'll continue to read your stuff, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
There he is, Dave Birkett of the Detroit Free Press, here on 97.1 The Ticket.